Hey everyone, and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. I am Justin, aka Skills to Pay Bills.
I'm Nico, aka Shadow 2. I was a really creative motherfucker when I was naming myself back online when I was a kid.
And I'm Dan, aka Golden Ninja 528.
It's a hard ass name right there, bro.
You already know.
And we're here today to discuss Unfriended, directed by Levan Gabriadze. This is starring Shelley Hennig as Blair, William Peltz as Adam, Moses Storm as Mitch, Jacob Wysocki as Ken, Renee Olstead as Jess, and Heather Sosaman as Laura. So before we get started, I do want to quickly put a trigger warning on here. This movie deals with a lot of themes about like cyberbullying, suicide. We actually see somebody kill themselves in this movie, so just a little bit of a warning for anyone who's sensitive to those kind of topics. So this movie opens with a high school student named Laura committing suicide after a video of her at a party goes viral. We then skip to a year later with another high school girl named Blair having a kind of, sexy video chat with her boyfriend Mitch through Microsoft Skype on her Apple computer. They are interrupted by a call from their other friends, Jess, Ken, and Adam, and despite them kind of, ignoring the call or hanging up on it, they're still entered into the group call, which is kind of weird. After talking for a bit, they realize that someone else is on the call, a mysterious profile named Billy227. I mean, I don't really know, Nico.
Despite numerous attempts to get rid of Billy, the group is unable to do so. Blair also starts receiving messages from Laura's Facebook page, despite the fact that Laura, if you will recall, keen listeners, is dead and has been dead for a year. Mitch sends Laura a page about communicating with the dead and how that's a bad idea, but in the rush of things happening, she doesn't end up paying it too much mind, and the group thinks that another girl, Val, might be pranking them, so they invite her into the chat.
All right, Dan, was it Val? What really happens?
Sensitive information and pictures start getting posted about the members of the chat, and the group quickly realizes that Billy, which is linked to Laura's email, is responsible and not actually Val. So Val calls the police and leaves the chat, which in turn causes her to commit suicide because Laura's ghost, Billy, can make people commit suicide. Things take another deadly turn when Billy tells Ken not to leave. He doesn't listen, and the group witnesses him kill himself as well.
So, Nico, I assume things turn out better, right? They've learned their lesson.
In a way. So Billy, aka Laura, then asks them to play a game. The name of the game is Never Have I Ever, and the remaining players, those being Blair, Mitch, Jess, and Adam, have some of their deepest, darkest secrets revealed to each other. Jess and Adam are eventually killed off, leaving only Blair and Mitch as the sole survivors. Blair then tells Laura that Mitch is the one who posted the video, and he is made to kill himself. Blair then tries to remind Laura that they were friends, but Laura goes ahead and posts a video online showing that Blair was the one who filmed Laura embarrassing herself at the party in the first place. The movie ends with everyone online hating Blair and the computer closing and Laura's ghost attacking Blair.
Well, that seems pretty interesting, he said with no sarcasm. So let's go ahead and break this down, shall we? And there's actually a pretty major component here to talk about. Nico, visually, what is different about this movie, and why did this movie garner so much attention?
Yeah, so this movie looks like the screen that I'm looking at right now, in a way, given that we see, when we're watching Unfriended, we see the perspective of not a camera over someone's shoulder or into the main character's room, but we see Blair's screen the entirety of the movie, except for the last second. We have, instead of setting the scenery with her house or maybe the school or whatever, it's all just windows on a computer. And so we get the experience of watching a Skype call. And that's super exciting.
Right. So the movie's essentially told literally through kind of like a screen share almost, where we're looking at Blair's screen so we can see all the messages that she's sending and receiving, as well as the Skype calls. Dan, how'd you feel about this? I don't want to call it a gimmick, but how'd you feel about this storytelling tool?
It was interesting. It was definitely a gimmick. You can go ahead and call it that, because that's what it was. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. For lack of a better word, it felt gimmicky. But I understand why they did it, and I think it was an interesting concept. To be honest, I'd be kind of surprised and disappointed if somebody hadn't done it. So while I'm not sure that I like it, I'm glad that somebody did it. And I know that sounds really weird.
Did you feel like maybe there was an element of product placement there?
Oh, what? With Apple and YouTube,
Apple and Skype?
Facebook and Skype,
Yeah.
And Forever
Yeah.
21 and all of that.
and some cam girl website.
Yeah, well, that was, yeah. But no, I mean, I guess from my perspective, I appreciated it. I always appreciate people doing something new. But I definitely think that it just didn't reach out and grab me as much as and maybe what it is just that format isn't really meant to last over the length of a full feature movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it maybe that might be better off in a shorter kind of thing. But by the end of it, and also I hate to say this, but some of the stuff on there just like annoyed me the same way it would annoy me if it happened in real life, but just like waiting for people to pick up and like drop calls and like the little distortion that happens because your internet shit in 2013 or whatever.
Convenient
Like,
glitches are convenience.
yeah. I mean, first off, I refuse to believe that a high schooler in 2014 did not know what a troll was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This dude, one guy talks about Billy and is like, oh, that's a troll. And then I think it's Jess who's like, wait, what's a troll? And then I'm just like, come on, who you lying to right now? Who you lying to right now?
The audience.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was that. I think, from an audio perspective, you got all the same, computer noises that you would expect from Blair's Apple computer, as well as Skype, Facebook, all the notification sounds you know and love from 10 years ago are there. And I don't know. There's really nothing much else to say.
Literally nothing else to say.
In terms of music, they have one or two songs. They got one or two songs there. But
Did
I
they?
don't know. They did. There was one song that Blair, oh, by the way, this really made me laugh. So Blair's about to call Mitch, right? She's like, I'll call you back. She hangs up, starts playing a song.
Oh,
and
right. Yeah,
Immediately
yeah.
after playing the song, calls back Mitch and the song stops. And I was just like,
What was the point?
what was the point of that? And then there's a part where I guess the ghost of Laura / Billy takes over Blair's computer and plays a song about being a liar.
Yeah,
But-
true.
Those are the only two, and maybe one or two other kind of piano tracks are the only real ones that kind of stand out to me in terms of
They
like,
should have just doubled
audio.
down and gone into the meme of why you always lying.
was that
Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
first off, I don't think they wanted to pay anyone for that. But secondly,
Fair.
When did that song come out?
it would have been right around then, wouldn't it?
It would have been right around then, yeah.
So I don't know. But Dan, how'd you feel about the audio master Dan?
One thing that was intrigued me, and I'm not quite sure the reason behind it, but a lot of times when Blair was texting with her boyfriend Mitch, everyone else was muted.
Fucking
Notice
thank
that,
you!
like, all sound
Fucking
stopped.
thank you! They just stopped talking!
Yep, even though they're all still on a call, they're on a Skype call with each other. When she was texting with Mitch, everyone was just dead quiet. And that was kind of a
It was
weird
the dumbest
thing.
shit.
I did read that when it was filmed, there was other noise going on. It's not like they stopped making noise. But I guess during editing, they just decided to cut that. I guess maybe so that us as the viewer isn't distracted by background noise and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know. That was a weird decision.
So moving on, Nico, do you have any last points about the audio that you haven't already said?
No, I mean, it is a fucking slim pickings out here tonight. There is not a lot to say on visuals or the audio. Like,
Like visuals, there's a lot to say because it's the gimmick of
well,
the movie.
okay, beyond the gimmick, I mean, like, there's I don't know that I can say there's really that much cinematography to begin with. And, like, yeah, the sounds of Facebook notifications are nostalgic, but apart from that, there were times when if I didn't have subtitles on, I always watch with subtitles. And if you don't, you're a fucking lame. At me, I don't give a
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I'll at
okay.
you. I'll at you right now.
okay.
fuck. Yeah, you're a
What's
fucking
that?
lame.
What's that?
And you're a fucking
Bro,
lame too,
don't
Justin.
leave
How
the
about
chat,
that?
bro. Don't leave the chat.
The chat, bro, don't leave the chat, bro. But
Yeah,
no, what
well,
is it? Subs over dubs?
Yeah, basically. But what I was saying is, if it wasn't for the subtitles, there would have been parts where I would have no idea who was saying what to each other. I feel like the levels could have been balanced a little bit better, which is a little, I don't know if it's sad or just, I don't know.
So you know what's one thing as well that kind of made me laugh a lot though, Dan?
What?
And you're gonna have to tell me because I am not a chosen one to have a Mac.
Oh.
But there was a part where Blair is messaging Mitch, and every single time she wants to send like a message, she mouses over and clicks send instead of hitting enter like a human
you don't
being.
have to do that.
You don't have to do that, right?
No, you just hit enter.
Enter. All right, that's what I thought. But I was like, what's going on? Why do you keep doing this? And I guess, and we're gonna do a quick PSA here, real quick. PSA with Nico. Hey, Nico.
Hey, Justin.
If somebody sends you, an unknown stranger sends you an attachment, what do you do?
Don't fucking open it.
All right, then. That's been the PSA from Nico. So tell me, Nico, do you think that Blair fucked up by downloading attachments?
Yes, because there was a time when I myself had this same fuck up. Listeners might recall this from a previous bonus episode, but there was one point in my life where I think it wasn't too far beyond or behind this movie, actually. I got an email one day where I was waiting for a shipment from FedEx, and it was like, hey, we have information about your package. Just download this file. And the file was fedex.exe. And my happy ass was like, oh, okay, I've been waiting for this for a long time. So I downloaded it, and wouldn't you fucking know it, my computer got borked. So, yeah.
The best part was Nico calls me, bro, you won't believe what I just did. And I was like, no, stop it. But
like when I told him, Justin had a solid 10 seconds of just putting the phone down laughing at me.
So I have a question for you, Dan. And I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I know that you know about ghosts, right? We don't fuck with ghosts.
Okay, right. No, we
official
don't fuck with
DOTD stance. But how do you feel about techno ghosts? And is this movie scary? I mean, this ghost.
What about metalcore ghosts? Hard-bop ghosts?
Get to those
Drum
later.
and bass ghosts?
I was taking a look at personally the vaporwave ghost, bro.
No, I was looking at progressive bonsai trance ghost.
Hey, fuck you. Progressive bonsai trance is a good thing, all right?
City pop ghosts?
Enough with the ghost. I like shoegaze. Shout out to Bea Bada B, yo. Anyways.
Shout out to Maria Takeuchi while we're at it. You go, girl.
We've cleared a lot of shout outs here, but Dan, is this movie scary with the ghosts that they've currently got?
I don't think it's all that scary, and I was trying to figure out why. And I think it's because we don't ever really, because it's done through Skype call and everything, we don't really connect with any of the characters because it's I mean, I guess it's sort of from Blair's perspective, but it's more from Blair's computer's perspective. Mm-hmm. So I think the lack of personal connection to one of the characters kind of prevents the movie from being scary to me.
I kind of feel like not a lot, but there's a good chunk of stuff that's told through text.
Yeah.
And in this context, the text is not very scary. Like when Blair is messaging Laura and Laura's messaging her, it's kind of like a weird scenario where normally you'd be scared, but it's almost like a person. And then, I don't know, I just didn't find it very scary. And I do think the disconnect between just constantly staring at the screen is what wore me down and made it not scary. Nico, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was particularly hard to invest in any of the characters because they were caricatures of caricatures. Listeners might recall that in our Night of the Demons review, I opined that I was eager to see each and every one of them die, and this movie eclipses that tenfold.
Oh. Wow.
Each character in this movie was like someone got a quote on the back of a fucking cereal box and made that an entire basis of a character. And they were all just bad people. So like whenever there was anything that was threatening, all of the tension was gone because it's like, oh, well, this guy just roofied someone, so I don't really care if he dies.
Oh, what kind of fucking cereal do you eat? Fucking Cheetos?
Oh, I know. I'm about to say.
Quentin Tarantino's.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
I mean, that's a good one.
All right,
no, there would have been more feet in this. There was a foot fetish at the start.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
There was a foot fetish at the start.
There was, it's true.
There was also a weird kind of knife kink play. We're not here at DOTD. We don't shame anyone's kinks, but what the fuck was that? Just asking.
QED, this movie, what the fuck was that?
Anyhow, we're getting off track here, boys. We gotta navigate our fucking sales back. So we've already kind of determined the movie's not totally scary. Is perhaps one reason for that the movie's maybe a little bit dated? The gimmick in this movie obviously being Skype, internet calls, and kind of around the time this movie came out, obviously Skype had been out for some time, but this is when we were really kind of getting the internet that would allow you a consistent, steady, fast connection. Something that you might get with Verizon Fios. No, but I mean, seriously though, like I used to have dog shit internet, and then I went to college and continued to have dog shit internet, and I didn't
Great
get
story, Mark.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I didn't get good internet till actually around the time this movie came out. So do you think that, to bring it back to my original point, do you think that after, like 9 years or so of having this tech, is this movie dated?
I think it both is and isn't at the same time. I think if COVID hadn't happened, I would say it's dated. But considering the fact that every single teenager, preteen, college student, adult, everybody uses Zoom now for school and for fucking everything. I think it's a little dated, but still understandable because of Zoom, of the prevalence of Zoom. Obviously, it looks different, and hopefully, people's Wi-Fi connections are a little better now. But I think it's, like I said, it's a weird yes and no to the dated question to me.
Okay, Nico, how do you feel about it?
I feel like this entire movie could have been solved with a VPN. Real talk.
You feel so?
I feel so. Like, I almost feel like as I was watching this movie, the credits were going to roll and it was going to be like, this video sponsored by ExpressVPN. Have you had ghosts invading your workspace, your digital, family, whatever, getting in on late night Skype calls with the bros? Well, download Express. Like, I don't know. In that regard, and what Dan was saying, I agree. It is a little bit more relevant now insofar as it relates to video chat, which means fuck, the three of us are doing that literally right now. But it does feel a little bit more dated insofar as there is just an awkward delivery to it all. Like, there were multiple times where it didn't feel like the characters were doing something smart. I'm not one to rag on horror characters for doing dumb things. I think that's central to the genre a lot of the times, but I feel like in this particular context, there were so many points when people just, otherwise, if they weren't in this movie, I'd be like, nah, I'm done. I'm just going to log off. And so that makes it feel maybe not dated, but forced. I don't know if that's quite the same thing.
I feel like in fairness of defending the movie, I can't believe I'm doing this. I feel dirty. Got to take a shower. But I feel like in fairness, the movie kind of quickly addressed the point of logging off by the ghost simply saying, you can't. And I'm not going to go too much into it right now because I do want to save that piece. But I think they did try to address the logging off piece. Although, like, for real, at the start of the movie, I feel like if I see some weirdo in my group chat, I'm probably, when I can't kick them out, I'm probably going to honestly, like, leave.
Yeah, I'll just be like, yo, I'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Yeah. I want to now kind of turn a little bit to some of the themes in this movie. This movie does have one major theme, which is obviously bullying. And, we talked a little bit about it in Carrie, kind of how the people were super rude to Carrie, and Carrie never really did anything wrong to anyone. However, we have a different scenario here. We've got Laura, who, per Ken, Laura is honestly not a very great person. Now, I don't necessarily think she deserved what happened to her, but it's interesting to note that this movie chose to go with a cast of pretty much irredeemable assholes. Everybody with the exception of perhaps Mitch, maybe. But I mean, Mitch narked on his friend to the cops, but I mean, he probably has the least of all sins, perhaps.
But I guess he posted the video too.
Oh, he posted it. Fuck me. I forgot. They're all dicks. Never mind. So then Ken is the one with the least. I don't think Ken did anything wrong.
Probably not.
So we talk about bullying in this movie. It's kind of crazy because I almost feel like, growing up, I really didn't have a ton of cyberbullying, particularly in like my formative years, because it just wasn't a thing. And I feel like nowadays there's kind of like a whole new arena for, like kids, teenagers to deal with that was probably only just now really, really starting to pick up steam, I guess, when we were in, like high school. It is interesting because this is kind of, I know there's movies that deal with it, but this is probably the first one that I really remember that really kind of like did a deep dive into it. I'm probably fucking up. I probably remember one tomorrow, but this is the first one that really jumps to my mind right now.
Same here.
And I kind of want to know, how do you feel it was handled, Nico, in this movie? Do you think they treated it with any kind of respect?
I don't think they had any time to develop any real characters in this movie beyond just like bad things keep happening. So it's hard for me to say. I feel like they definitely feel some regret towards the end. Not all of them, but like I think Blair and Mitch, more so Blair, feels bad a little bit, not redeemably so, but I don't know. I will say that you were right about the whole social media and cyberbullying thing being a very real prevalent thing in this day and age. I've seen it firsthand in the lives of some of my students, and it's awful. So in that, I can see something like this happening, just relating to the premise.
Now, Dan, I kind of want to bring up another point, and one reason why I couldn't connect with this movie a lot, aside from all the reasons we've stated so far, is the people on this call are just some privileged ass fucking white people, bro. And like,
Yeah.
literally, I couldn't connect. Even the whole like, bye, thank God, that just puts a hole in my soul. Like, why? So I gotta ask, do you think there's really any kind of opportunity, much to Nico's point, to build a connection with these people, or are they just kind of faces on a screen, literally?
I think for the most part, they're just faces on a screen. I think that maybe a subsect of viewers can relate to them just because there are people out there that have similar personalities and interests and things. But I think that you're right. There's just not enough character development and stuff there to really actually connect with these people. And yeah, they are kind of privileged white people, and it just doesn't. Even me as like a white dude, like it's hard to connect with them. I don't know.
They're getting their seats at the orchestra, bro. Don't forget.
No, not at the orchestra. Orchestra
In the orchestra.
In the orchestra seats.
Yeah, she said she was going to take it in the orchestra.
Is that a code word for something else?
No, that's a quote. That's a quote. That's a quote from the movie.
Yeah, the orchestra seating. Not,
Yeah.
They're going to like a different concert. Not an
Yeah,
orchestra
see?
concert.
Yeah, over here trying to tell me about my orchestra, bro. So,
Take it in my orchestra any day. What?
so moving on. I want to ask, so obviously, we've all seen kind of the email chain message, like send this to like 5 people and your crush will fall in love with you, or maybe the slightly darker, send this to 5 people or someone will cut off your nuts. Like, what do you really think? Do you think those kind of form the basis for some of the things that happen in this movie?
I feel like if they made a movie about those chain threads, I feel like it would have been more interesting because the sort of like repercussions were always more outlandish and magnanimous. Like, if you don't send this email to 27 people by Thursday at 2:49 p.m., your mother will disintegrate before your eyes. Like, goddamn, bro. I wasn't expecting all of that. Like, they were some creative fucking threads in there. I regularly, when I was younger, had friends who were like, I'm kind of scared. I don't want my mom to disintegrate, bro.
Sorry. And speaking of not people disintegrating, but things being out of your control, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about this Technoghost because this ghost, I felt like this was kind of an unwinnable scenario. The ghost has access to everything and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You can't stop. You can't get rid of the ghost. You can't hang up on them. You can't leave or you die. You can't do this. You can't do that. And to me, it was almost just kind of like, what's the fucking point then? At least, even if, I love cosmic horror. And to be honest, a lot of cosmic horror is unwinnable, like the protagonist can never really truly triumph. But even then, there's still like an actual struggle that can happen. This was an hour and 20 minutes of a ghost bodying some teenagers, pretty much. Like, that's what it was. And nothing anyone could do would solve it. And there's a part where Ken calls the cops, and then the operator's like, I told you not to hang up. And I'm like, once that happened, I was like, all right, bro, just give up. Like, you're stuck. There's nothing you can do. And that really frustrated me about the movie, because I much prefer it when there's something that can be done. At least an action you can take. Even if it's not going to work, let the action happen, you know? But
Yeah.
this movie immediately, literally just wanted to keep everything in the box. And I honestly kind of view that as a failing of the movie.
They should have let
But-
someone's mom disintegrate in front of him, bro.
No,
That would have
not at all.
been pretty exciting, anyways.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, again, it's time for what would you do? Speaking of my point, not your point. So, I pretty much said that, this is kind of like a no-win scenario, but let's go ahead and try it one last time. So we're linking up for a DOTD meeting. The three of us sign on, and there's a fourth person that signs on. Say they go by the name, Perkin the Shirt 69. And I'm just like,
That's the name you chose. Amazing.
listen, I could have come up with something way worse, all right? So,
I believe that.
and this person comes and like, we can't kick them out of the, not to tell you the top secret thing we use to communicate, but you could say it causes a lot of discord in our community.
Oh,
But,
Oh.
and we couldn't kick them out of the server. Like, what would the next step be for you, Dan?
I think after that, I agree with what you said earlier. I would just fucking call you or some shit. I'd just be like, all right, yo, we done with this Skype call. Let me call you. If that doesn't work, if they're fucking in our call too, I'd be like, all right, I'll talk to you in school tomorrow.
Okay. Nico, agreed?
Yeah, I would do literally anything else other than the thing where there was someone invading my conversation. There are so many different avenues you could use for this. I would use fucking smoke signals, my guy, before I would continue this conversation in Skype.
What if the thing was like, all right, if you leave, you die?
Okay, bet. Let's throw
okay.
hands, bitch. Let's go.
So after Nico's done, Dan, what would you do?
I would post as much information as I have about this person on 4chan. And I would say 4chan after them. That's exactly what I would do.
Help, there's a tech ghost about to kill me. I mean, that
You
went
gotta
greatly.
install Habbo Hotel on this ghost.
I would also call Bonner.
True. Bonner
Real
is going to be
shit.
the key. Bonner's going to have to come through. I've dealt with this all the time, bro. Hang on. You never done a tech exorcism?
Fucking, what was his name? Kevin? Ken?
Yeah,
was,
Ken.
was like a watered down Bonner. He tried to
Yeah.
grab their IP address or something. Bonner would he'd go in. He would go in on that shit.
Bonner would SWAT him. There'd be like SWAT team showing up to like the ghost grave and
shit.
shit. Like, yo, what's good? What's really good, ghost? But no, all in all, though, we all agree, like, this is one of those where it's kind of pointless. Like, yeah, we could do it. What would you do? But we're all dead in the end. We're all dead
Yeah.
because the ghost wants us
Me
dead.
first, though, probably.
Yeah, probably you, I will admit. So, time for some criticisms, of which we've stated a lot. But I want to know, kind of before we bring this to, a cease and go over the score, any criticism that we haven't discussed yet that you feel like you want to bubble up to the surface?
I really don't know why they use the glitch effects so much. Like, there were a number of scenes where, like, not even the internet cutting out, really, but just it wasn't necessarily too authentic. And even when the movie was starting, we had the Universal, like, logo scroll. Yeah, my roommate made the comment as we were watching, oh, they're not wasting any fucking time, are they? Because there was glitching in that, too.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt a little overdone.
I guess one for me is Mitch sends Blair this site about how ghosts work, and like the site is 100% accurate. Like, she does everything that the site says not to do. And then the site also kind of talks about, how like a ghost could make you commit suicide and like how all these different things could happen. That site was literally only there so the audience could have some kind of semblance about what was going on. because otherwise the audience would not know what the fuck was going on. I almost kind of feel like they just threw that site in there real quick to be like, hey guys, just so you know it's a ghost. And then, because literally, I think Blair looks at it a grand total of twice for maybe like 10 seconds every time. I would have been like, hey guys, this could be a ghost, considering a dead person is typing to us.
Yeah, she
Like,
never says that. That's
No,
wild.
she never says that. No one ever brings up the opportunity. They're always like, oh, it's a dude or it's like something else going on. But then wait a second, how would this dude, like, think logically. How would this person have access to all this shit? How would they know all of your like innermost secrets? How is this person going to be at the police station? How is this person going to be able to stop you from doing functions on your computer?
To be fair, I think at a certain point, once they started playing Never Have I Ever, nobody was like, yo, this is a person doing this anymore. Like, they were all pretty invested in the fact that it was a ghost.
Were they? They just seem
I
to be
think
mad
so.
at each other mostly.
Oh, yeah, because the ghost was turning them on each other. But, like, especially near the end, like, Blair and Mitch were like, yeah, this is a fucking ghost. And, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure at some point, maybe shortly after the game started, they all kind of realized this is not just some random person.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like it's too late at that point.
Well,
I feel
yeah,
like
I mean, you're right.
off like Jump Street, I'd have been like, yo,
Would you really believe the very first time somebody just popped in, you would really think it's a ghost of some
oh, no,
dead person?
not that piece, not that piece. But as soon as they're like, hey, this person's posting all this stuff, and then like I start getting messages from this person's Facebook account, and they're dead, and like all that other stuff starts happening, and I'm like, nah.
See, here's the real what would you do? Because if you saw that I was posting, there's already a problem because I stay getting fucking post blocked.
That's true.
So
That's true.
y'all already fucking know, like, shit's haunted as fuck.
You'll be post-blocked even after death.
The
Yeah.
ghost will try messaging him, and it'll be like, Nico can't respond right now. But do you have any favorite scenes?
Nope.
My favorite, the only time that I, scared is way too strong of a word, but felt anything really, was right before Ken, like the whole Ken situation going on there, when the camera was like in his room, and then he cuts out for a second and comes back in, and his hand is like stuck in a blender, and he's like blending himself, making a Ken smoothie. I was kind of like, oh shit, okay, and like, just a hand in the blender. I kind of cringed a little bit, So out of all of the movie, that would have to be my favorite scene. It's not saying a whole lot, but
I wanted so much to like that, but it cut so much.
That's
Like,
true.
give me the satisfaction. It was so dread. Just give me the satisfaction. And I don't know. My favorite personal scene was, what's this man's name? Adam? Man's name is Adam, right? Yeah. So Blair was like trying to pretend to be like, like Lil Miss Perfect or whatever. And then Adam was like, oh yeah? Never have I ever fucked my boyfriend's best friend. Let's get to the truth right now. And I was just like, bro, this man got real emotional, yo. This man got like really in his emotions.
I like when he grabbed a gun and somebody was like, what are you going to do, shoot the computer?
Ironic, that might have been a way out. Because technically he wouldn't have
I would
hung
laugh
up.
so fucking hard.
Like, shoots the computer and kills the ghost. Like,
Damn it, I wasn't expecting that.
the files are in the computer. So, I mean, I don't know. But like, yo, can I just say, like, all these people are real pieces of fucking shit. Starting with Adam. Adam roofies someone, and then like that's already like fuck no, and then forces that person to get an abortion, which Jesus Christ. And then on top of that, also cucks his best friend, not once, but twice. And then has the gall to be like, nah, bro, it's not what you think, man. I'm like, no, it looks exactly like what he thinks. And I was just like, yo, like all these people suck. And like the only person who had like the possibility of being a good person was Val and maybe Ken. Because Ken actually tries to do something good. He tries to like run malware bytes or something to like get rid of the fucking virus, which he assumes it is. I don't know. But I liked when Adam was getting real with like Mitch. But time for the score on Rotten Tomatoes. Y'all ready for this?
Yep.
We got a 62% from critics and a 36% from the audience. Kablow. So I want to ask you guys, where would you put it? given everything we've discussed, where would you put this one? I feel like we've discussed this one at length. So I'm going to start with you, Nico. You seem like you got a lot on your mind.
Yeah, this movie's shit. I give it a 19. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 27.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 25 for the gimmick alone. They tried. Fuck me, that was cold.
Don't fucking
right.
watch this, y'all. Go
Yeah.
watch something else.
Go watch something else. This is not going to get a recommend from me. I'm assuming you two feel the same way.
Yep.
Fuck no.
Honestly, you know, we've to date, I think, reviewed probably in the 70s or so of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And this ranks among the worst. Like this one is not very
By
good.
far.
This is not very good. I'm pretty sure that score I just gave it of a 25 is potentially the lowest I've ever given a movie. Maybe I gave Ghost Stories a lower one just because I was so mad. But
I don't think you did.
This one is horrible. Like I could not in good faith recommend this to anyone. How did this get a sequel? Well, it turns out, at least if you know certain sources are to be believed, this thing had a budget of 1 million and made a box office of 64 million. When you make 64 times your budget, yeah, you are going to get a sequel. So that's been it from us here at Don't Open That Door. I feel like we say this every episode, but I'd like to once again remind you, be nice to people. Like, don't be a dickhead. Treat people well with respect. Don't fucking punch down. Don't fucking cyberbully anyone. Be kind to everyone. And as always, dear listener, don't open that door. Bye.